2012, please put your hands together and roll them up to valedictorian.
First, I would like to thank Mr. Zimmerman for the very awesome and possibly most embarrassing introduction. I wouldn't have it any other way. So I will start with good evening, respected guests, teachers, staff, administration, parents, families, and the graduating class of 2012. I would like to start by saying that I am absolutely honored to be up here today, representing our class. Next, I would like to thank the Maxwell Heights faculty, the Durham Board trustees, the parents and family members out here tonight, supporting us all, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2012. Now, I have known over these 12 long years of school that I wanted to be right here, right now, with all of you giving this speech. So over those long years, I had thought of 3 things that would make up a great valedictorian speech. Number 1, I should talk about moving forward in life. Number 2, I should read lots of long, inspirational quotes that make you want to fall asleep, but still fill you with wisdom and knowledge. And number 3, I would like to talk about how awesome of a time we have had here at Maxwell Heights. So I came to realize that the first 2 ideas were absolutely horrible and would lead to an incredibly boring speech, so I'm just going to go with number 3. And before I proceed, I feel the need to thank a few groups of teachers for inspiring our class tonight. Now, it takes a truly special person to be a teacher, and we have been lucky enough to have the best of the best here at Maxwell. First, I would like to thank administration for keeping us in line over these 3 years. I would like to thank the history and geography teachers for showing us that their classes can be the craziest. And everyone, please don't be fooled by Mr. Askew's beard. He is a child. I would like to thank Mr. Gove and his lovely math department for giving us proof that angels do walk the face of the earth. I would like to thank the Language and World Studies department for teaching me the language of love. The Business and Computers department for at least trying to teach me how to spend my money. I would like to thank Mrs. Niles and the Science department for showing us that in real life, size matters. Next, I would like to thank the English department for showing us the harsh penalties of doing our essays the night before they are due. I would like to thank the phys ed teachers for always pushing us to do our best, even though we don't have the proper clothing. And I would like to thank the guidance department for being behind us these 3 years and for what a wonderful job they have done to put together this evening. And I would like to thank Mr. Begin and the arts department for always putting on a lovely show and a lovely art gallery. And last but not least, I would like to thank all of our extracurricular coaches, conductors, directors, whatever they may be, for putting in the long, hard hours after school with us all. So I would like everyone to join me in giving them a round of applause. Next, on behalf of the graduates, I would like to thank the parents and guardians that are here with us tonight. Without them, some of us would not come to school with a lunch, and most of us would not even make it to school. And if your parents were anything like mine, you would know that they are full of wonderful life knowledge and wisdom. My mother used to send me off to school every day and tell me, "Garrett, you are the most handsome boy in school, and do not let anyone tell you different." And today I still think of her as the smartest person I know. Your parents and guardians have been behind you every step of the way, so please join me in giving them a round of applause. Last but not least, I need to thank tonight's stars, a very extraordinary group of students who are in the graduating class of 2012. Everyone here tonight is very accomplished in their own ways. Over our 3 years at Maxwell, we have changed and grown as a group. I think it is safe to say that coming to Maxwell has shaped the young women and young men we have become today. I have never been more proud to say I am a part of Maxwell's class of 2012. Thank you guys for making these 3 years the best years of my life. As a prominent hip-hop musician, 50 Cent once said, "We the best." And we are. If you look around, you could be sitting beside our next doctors, lawyers, or even Walmart executives. So please give everyone a round of applause. Now there's truly something special about Maxwell Heights. Being able to walk down the halls and name most of the faces is not an easy thing to do. And there's something remarkable about a whole student body joining together and walking across the street to Legends to cheer on our hockey team that probably lost. It is not the fact that it took 1 year longer than planned to build this school, and it doesn't involve the teachers you don't know that yell at you to take off your hat every day. It is not the fact that the students are on a first-name basis with the custodial staff. It is all of that combined and more. Let's face it, everyone, over our 3 years here, we have created something a lot better than education. When I walked through those doors 3 years ago, on opening day, I do not think anybody knew what to expect. We were a large grade coming from various schools. We were lucky to even get to class on time, as it was confusing to learn our way around a new building. Change is hard, and we adapted very well. As a class, we have accomplished so much for this school. I do not think anyone expected they would be in a class with the #1 ranked piano player in the country, be on a baseball team that 3 years later would win LASA, play on a rugby team that proved themselves to be the best in their opening year, or be on a wrestling team that would win various LASA and OTSA gold medals, be a part of Maxwell's first Inside Ride and raise over $10,000 for cancer research, to play in a jazz band that would receive the rank of gold at nationals, to play in a basketball team that would win a LASA silver medal, that would travel for days on end through the wilderness on an outdoor ed trip where Mr. Rossiter would eventually lose his mind and beat on a young female student. Or nobody expected to become friends with Canada's next #1 beatboxer. If I look back on all the memories we shared as a class, I would be smiling for the rest of the year, as long as I didn't have to go to university at the end of the summer. Now, every now and again, you hear people mention that high school was the best 4 years of their lives. Now, don't get me wrong, high school has been the best, but only so far. Honestly, if you think 4 years of English essays, math EQAO, literacy tests, Miss Bronson's bio tests, getting up at 7 every morning, pulling all-nighters to do your essays and study for your exam, only to realize that it's helpless, is the best 4 years of your life, then there's really something wrong with you. Because that is not something I would wish upon my worst enemy. Now, I'm going to change courses a little bit. If I was to compare high school to a movie, I would choose Star Wars 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Now, when Star Wars 4, A New Hope came out, it was a smash hit and people everywhere loved it. So when Star Wars 5 came out, everyone was so excited to see it. But it left everyone disappointed. And they were disappointed because it was just it was a setup for the next Star Wars movie, which proved itself to be the best movie of all time. And if you disagree, you can leave. Now, flash forward 20 years, and Star Wars 5 is known as the best movie of all time. You may ask why. Because it was the movie that set up the best movie. Much like high school, it may have had its ups and its downs, but overall, it was the setup for the greatest years of our lives. I think Dr. Seuss summed it up best when he said, "Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who will decide where to go." And Dr. Seuss was right. We have been given all we need to enter the real world. But it wasn't the countless hours we spent learning that prepared us for the real world. Oscar Wilde once wrote, "Education is a valuable thing, but nothing worth knowing can be taught." And the first time I read this, I couldn't agree more. Like, really, when am I ever going to have to know the inverse reciprocal of a parabola? And I think he was referring to something a little bit more deep than that. And it must have been a certain element. Now, this is stronger than any element you can find on the periodic table. And with this element, as a class, we have created a bond. And that bond is friendship. And friendship, my friend, is something that you can't find in the textbooks, and any teacher in the school cannot teach you that. When you walk out of here tonight, you may be done with this school forever. Some of you may be coming back. But for the rest of your life, everyone should always remember the friends we have all made, and the friends who have helped us in our years here to get by. Now, I do not want this to be a goodbye tonight, Maxwell, because goodbyes are sad, and tonight is not a sad night. So, Maxwell, I will see you later, in 20 years, I hope. And I hope to come back to see all our next doctors and lawyers, Albert Einsteins, David Suzuki's, whatever. Now go out there, and I hope you make the best movie for your grand finale, and I want you to make it as best as you possibly can, because I cannot wait to hear all about it. 1 second. Now, as Ryan Smith would say, I'm done.